Good morning. Today on Business Success in 6 with Stacie, I have Matt Grant from Black Tie Professional Freight here. Matt, thanks so much for jumping on with us today.
Hey, thank you for having me.
So, Matt, you're from Milwaukee. We are really excited to learn all about Black Tie Professional Freight. If you don't mind, I'm going to ask you 6 questions in 6 minutes. Does that sound good to you?
Absolutely.
Awesome. When people ask you what your business does, how do you describe it?
I describe it as a business that's efficient and dedicated to serving the customer and really making them feel like they're part of the team and valuable. Because a lot of times people come away from a transaction and it's just like, oh, okay, whatever. But when you come away feeling like you've gained a friend and a partner, you can go a long way and grow together.
Absolutely. That's awesome. Now, I know we talked earlier, but I want you to tell our viewers why you named your business Black Tie Professional Freight.
Absolutely. So I've been in the field for 18 years now. But I know when I first started the company, I would always notice that truckers they always had the stigma like they're dirty. And, even when they come into the office party, it's like, hey, get this guy out of here. So I wanted to add an element to where when you see a truck driver, he's clean, he's professional, and you kind of look like, hey, did he come to buy the building or is he a trucker? Hey, I don't know.
That's
So
brilliant.
and it just gives like even with the driver and the employees, it gives them a different sense and quality of themselves as well. When you sitting there with oil all over yourself, you're gonna say like, hey, I should be on the dock. But if you're my original concept was to actually have them in ties. And then I realized how much of a hazard that would probably be in the warehouse. Getting caught on the forklift. I can't explain that.
Sure.
So I said, maybe we should ditch that part.
That's okay. It's a brilliant name, and I know that our viewers appreciate the creativity with that too. So the second question is, what were your plans when you started your business and how have they changed?
Absolutely. So when I started the business, to be honest, and I mean, just to be totally transparent, so my dream is to actually own a railroad. Like I love trains. That's like, and I promise this is like my first platform I've ever shared that part on. Because they say don't share like your biggest dreams. But so for me, just in pursuit of that, you just have to give your all with, the trucking company. So my other dream is to have trucks all over the country, like a Black Tie Professional Freight, Dallas, Houston, Tampa, Atlanta, maybe not New York, but just different places like that. So of course you hit the roadblocks and you see different things. And the way I won't say I really view anything like that different. We're still staying the course.
Cool.
Because I've seen a lot of people, entrepreneur wise, that come and go, and I'm real thankful, to still be around.
Mm-hmm.
Because one thing I know about like this field, you have to have the passion for it. Because when those rough times come, when rough times come, you can tell who's taking it as a hobby and who's taking it as their business.
Yeah, absolutely. So what is the biggest way you impact the community?
Absolutely. So I provide a lot. So everybody I've hired has always been like word of mouth, and and it's a lot of times it's been people that's um I hate saying this because I don't want people thinking like black tie felony freight or anything like that. But it's people that people kind of have given up on and things like that. So a lot of times when people come there and say, hey Matt, I have this guy, he's been out of work for a year, and I mean, maybe he's on the verge of homelessness, things like that, and or maybe he has a felony or something like that, and of course you have to do your background, and
Absolutely.
you don't want to have certain type of crimes or people driving, but once you really sit down, that's why I always interview people personally. So even when I have multiple hubs all across the country, I still want to get to know each and every member of the team, at least personally. So when you meet people and you really understand their walk in life, and maybe some people had it a little harder than others,
Mm-hmm.
um, it kind of is like, you know what, hey, let's give this person a chance, you know, whether male or female. And a lot of times it has worked out. I mean, a lot of my drivers, like before that, they were here with me 5, 6 years. So it's
Cool.
few
Yeah.
times. So yeah, it's few times that I've actually had like a 2 week driver. You know, so a lot of people say, man, turn around and things like that. And the only time I've ever had to put an ad in the paper for drivers was Amazon. It was like peak season. They were like, hey, can you go up to 20 trucks for us? I'm like, I don't, okay. I think we at the time we had a lot, and it's like we got to figure out how to get eight, you know, eight more. You know, then it's like, okay, we can't do the word of mouth thing. Let's
Sure.
do an ad or something like that.
But that's
And
huge, being able to employ people that deserve that second chance, you know? Like
absolutely,
that's really
absolutely,
incredible. And yeah, everybody deserves that. So thank you for doing that for the community. Like
no problem.
jobs is huge. What is a challenge that you have faced that other business owners could learn from?
Honestly, when you're smaller, every everybody promotes capital to smaller businesses, but
Mm.
nobody gives capital to smaller businesses.
Wow.
It's it's such a contradiction. It's almost like even the bit don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but every business that you see that says that, the one business I remember I was in a bad situation and I took a loan out. It was like, oh my gosh, it was like I borrowed $10,000 and have to pay back $21,000. It was something
Wow.
crazy. I have to pull it up because they still send me emails, of course. And I said never again. Like I never wanted to be, you know, because for me with the team, one thing I have to do, I'm gonna make sure I make the payroll. So I'm gonna
Mhm.
make sure that they're paid
Yeah.
and everything is taken care of. So it's been, of course, as a business owner, it's been plenty of times where I could even pay myself, like plenty of times where you just looking, you have
Mhm.
to do what you have to do. So then you have to kind of look and just say, well, I'll figure the rest out. But
Mhm.
that is a tough pill to swallow when you take care of everything. There's just nothing left for yourself.
Absolutely. Very interesting. Well, I'm glad you persevered through that. Um, what does the future look like for you? And do you have an exit plan yet?
So I I used to so I took I learned about the exit plan. I took a class called Scale Up
Mhm.
down in Aurora, Illinois. It was it's actually a women's course.
Okay,
I didn't know that at the time.
but that's okay, right?
I, I was looking online and I happened to read what it stood for. And I'm like reading everything, like I need to know these things. Oh my gosh. So I called and Nisha Floyd, hey Nisha, if you see that, you are amazing. I called and she was like, hey, you know, this is the WB, I think it's the WBDC. It's for Chicago. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know. I said I just saw the class. So
Yeah.
she said, your energy is amazing though. You know what? I'm gonna talk to my director and let's meet. I'm like, okay. We met, hit it, you know, met at a coffee shop, talked forever. The next day she called me, she said, congratulations, we're gonna accept you. So I was the first male to, it was a 20-week course. I was the first male to graduate from the business class. But I learned so much and the connections I made was amazing.
That is awesome. Congratulations. That's so cool. So you're a feminist then, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? That's brilliant. When a man is strong enough and confident enough to go into a women's class, that's pretty cool. So love it.
Thank you.
Thank
Hey,
you.
love.
So all subjects open. This is our last question. What
Absolutely.
inspires you most?
That's amazing. What inspires me the most is setting an example because I send like these. I have like motivational videos that I do, and I send like text out every Monday to just everybody, everybody that I don't want to say that that I believe in, and I believe that they can go far. I always just send, and I always send the message one by one. I just don't do just a big group because you know when you see it like and people are responding, you're like, oh my gosh, get me out of here. So I make
Totally.
sure I
Yeah.
send it to every person. It's over 100 people to every person.
Wow.
But what inspires me is to be an example and to inspire others, if that makes sense.
Absolutely, it does.
Like for me, I love to see everybody win because when everybody's winning, you're gonna pull each other up and keep each other on track and accountable and things like that.
Yep.
If not, you know, I mean, even if you fall on hard times and you help all these people, it's gonna come a point where they're gonna say, "Hey, I remember this,"
Mhm.
and pull you up. And I mean, it's not even about that whatsoever. But I just think about it. Just all come, you know, it just all this reciprocation. It just all comes back around.
Yep.
So, and it just fills my heart to really see people doing good and you know living in their passion and purpose.
That's very inspiring. And so thank you so much for inspiring others because it really is a butterfly effect, like that ripple
Yes,
effect just keeps going. So thank
yes.
you so much for your time today, Matt. I'm really excited to share this with our clients and our community and lift you up as well. You have a
Thank you,
good day.
Stacie. You
It's
too.
my
You've been amazing. Thank you for having me.
thank you. You
All
too.
right. All
Bye.
right. Bye bye.